Hello, my fifth graders. So for today, I'm going to be showing you our science art for the water cycle. Now, you've already watched Miss Hanson's amazing video talking about the water cycle, what it is, how it works, and all the different vocabulary words that go with it. I hope you wrote those vocabulary words down on your note sheet because you will be using those words and having to define them in your paragraph that you'll write on Thursday. So for today, you're going to need that smaller square piece of paper. It's not really a square, sorry. It's a rectangular piece of paper. You're going to need a green, a brown, a blue, and a black. I have a hodgepodge of markers because my kids and I end up losing all of them. But I was able to locate these four. If you don't have markers, that's okay. Use color crayons. If you don't have color crayons, that's okay. Use pencils. Use whatever you have. If you don't have pencils, you don't have anything that represents blue, black, green, or brown, let your teacher know so that we can provide those supplies for you. Okay, so if you've got these colors, you've got your notes, we are ready to go. Remember, you should have two pieces of paper that are small like this, and you just need one of them. Note the way I have my paper laid out. It is it's called landscape, and which is great because we're going to be drawing a landscape. So I'm going to start with my black pen, and then later I'll go over things in color to add color to it. So we're going to start by drawing a basin, which will be a mountain on this side. Yes, the sound effects are needed. A mountain on this side, and then I'm going to draw another mountain on this side. And if you know me at all, you know when I draw my mountains like this, they have to have a snowy peak. I don't know why. I've always drawn my mountains like that since I was a little kid. It just suddenly, with the snowy peak, it's a mountain. It doesn't have to have snow. All right, so we're going to be drawing the water cycle. And so one of the things we need, I'm going to grab my blue, is water. So I'm going to start by drawing. There's my water. And this is actually to represent the ocean, but any body of water or any water on the ground will do. I'm also going to have a stream that's going to come from my snowy mountains. Maybe make a nice lake and then have it go out to the ocean. I might have some streams coming down here, and I'll color this in. Perfect. So that got colored in. And basically it's just representing that there's a body of water here. It's not very realistic. That's okay. All right. So I have one mountain. I've got another mountain here. Now I'm going to draw trees. Just a very basic pine tree over here. Wow, this is a very thin marker. No wonder I can still find it. So there's my trunk. There's my pine tree. If I want to draw a couple of those, right? All right, there's my trunk. Perfect. So I've got my mountains, I've got some trees, I've got some water. I go ahead and color this in as well. I'm not gonna like that. Try this blue. Please be blue. Okay, it is. You never know with those little ones. Sometimes they end up being like purple. And usually I don't color with marker. I like to color or outline with marker and then color with pencil or color crayon. But it's all good. Ta-da! All right, so we've got our mountains, we've got our river. I'm gonna outline my mountain with brown because it's dirty. There. Not the white because that's my white ink. I even have black markers for me are always in like rare supply because we use them on so many of our art projects. There, I like that better. There we go. So I have the outline done. And now we need to add the water cycle itself. So for the water cycle, we've got this circular pattern that we are going to have. And at the very top here, we're going to draw some clouds. because clouds are a big part of the water cycle, which is very astute for right now because I think it might be raining. Who knows? Someone does. Okay, those are my nice puppy clouds, my cumulonimbuses. So one of the first steps of the water cycle, which isn't really a first step because it's a circular cycle, but the one I like to start with is from the ocean heading up into the atmosphere. So just drawing an arrow from the ocean to the atmosphere, we have evaporation. So evap or at-tion. So basically, evaporation is the water molecules heating up to a certain temperature and it becomes a vapor and it rises up into the atmosphere. Another one, and I'm going to draw it from my trees over here up to the same area, is called transpiration. Now at this point, I know that we've had spur as one of our roots, and if we haven't, then it's going to happen really soon here. Transpiration is water molecules that evaporate from plants. So here I'm going to write transpiration. So transpiration is the stomata that are on the bottom of the leaves. They'll open up and allow water vapor to come out of the plant. And that allows, the water is such a cool thing. It allows for the cohesion of the water molecules to travel up the root and out of the plant. It allows basically the plant to water itself. But that's called transpiration. And that's another way that water gets from the ground into the atmosphere. It's through a plant. So there's evaporation, which is just any water that evaporates up. Then there's transpiration that literally it goes across a plant. So tran is across, spur is breathe. So it's kind of how the plants breathe. Evaporation, transpiration, they go up into the atmosphere and they make clouds. When it makes clouds, this is called condensation. Condensation. Condensation are when those molecules transpire, they evaporate into the air, and they condense and start to grab hold of each other again and condense into clouds. Now, if you get enough of those water molecules condensing into clouds, you get these dark, angry clouds over here. These are those cumulonimbus clouds, those rain clouds, and they start to do this funny thing called precipitation. Precipitation. So when the water comes from condensation to precipitation. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. And precipitation is really anything falling. So they could be snow. If it gets cold enough that water freezes, it can just be rain. All of that is considered precipitation. And if you wanted to go back through and color them blue, that does make it pretty. Precipitation. Okay. After precipitation, we still have accumulation or collection. So any time that water pools into something, we call that accumulation. ACC. We also call that collection. So in your paragraph that you're going to write, you're going to talk about this water cycle and you're going to just choose a point to start. Maybe it's condensation and you're going to say condensation is where those water molecules collect to form clouds. Precipitation is the next step in the water cycle, and that's where the water will precipitate from the clouds or rain, snow, hail, sleet, all of those things. Accumulation is where that water accumulates on the ground and gathers into lakes, ponds, streams, puddles. After that, it will evaporate back up into the sky. Evaporation is, right? So that's exactly what you're going to be doing for your essay. This is what your picture should look like. You can go back through and color it more, add some of those blue details, add some of the brown color crayons to add into the mountains. Add a nice blue sky. Right? When we add in those details, we make our art pop. It goes pop, pop. And again, I am taking less than a minute to do this. I hope you guys take more time and more careful. Okay, there's that. And then, do I even have a blue? I do have a blue, so I might lightly go back through. The only things I would leave not blue, apparently, are my mountaintops, because it's snowy white, and my clouds, which are supposed to be white. Ah. Stay in the lines, Miss Gorman, stay in the lines. Add some detail, some shadowing. All right, you guys, and there you go. There is, ooh, that was bad. Your steps to the water cycle. Very simple art project. Transpiration, condensation, precipitation, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, accumulation, transpiration. Those are the steps of the water cycle. Have a great day, you guys.